Hey guys. IzuKage mic is broken, so he'll be his substitute. Today we'll be doing what if Naruto was.
Psych, imagine, that would be like really annoying. Anyways, yo, what is up guys, your boy IzuKage here with, and you already know what it is. You know what's up. This is back to back uploads of what if Deku had divine dividing. So enough said, let's get right into the what if. So in the last part, Izuku and Reyes had their internship with Ryukyu, and they helped out in the Hosu incident, Izuku taking down Stain, while Reyes, Ryukyu and Nejire took down all the flying Nomu. So the entire agency became way more popular, and Izuku and Reyes would kind of get into trouble for not having a hero license, but Ryukyu finessed it somehow, and because people saw how prepared they were for such a disaster, even more than some pro heroes, they didn't really have a problem with it. So and Ryukyu actually went up 4 spots. She's now the number 6 hero instead of the she's now the number 5 hero instead of the number 9. And yeah, let's pick up at the hospital after the Hosu incident. So Izuku is in Ida's room, and he just woke up, and Ida realizes that Izuku is there, and he doesn't want to look Izuku in the face. He feels really ashamed and quickly closes his eyes again, but Izuku already saw him like awake, and he says, "You know how dumb you are, right?" And Ida replies, "Shut up, I was getting revenge for my brother." And Izuku chuckles a bit and says, "Revenge? What would have happened if Todoroki didn't show up, huh? Like, how would your brother feel if you how would your brother feel if you died? And do you know how much bad press the school would have? Like, they would be forced to close down. Like, honestly, you need to think, like, you need to stop being so selfish and think about what your actions do to other people." And like with that, Izuku just walks out to Reyes, who was waiting for him there. And she says, "Don't you think you went a bit too hard on him?" And Izuku says it's the only way he'll understand. And yeah, so with that, the two leave, leaving Ida alone in his room to think about what Izuku just said. So fast forward to Monday of the next week, and it's back to school. During this week, Ida had a surgery, leaving his left arm almost useless, but saving his legs, which are his most important body part. Also, Izuku and Reyes have been chilling at his house lately, but Inko doesn't mind because she doesn't know half the time they're there, because he would sneak her in or something. So to the class, and Aizawa comes into class, and everyone shuts up this time, which made him happy. He didn't even have to say anything, so it seems they're learning better every day. So he goes up to the front of the class and says, I like the energy in here already. Now, you just came off your internship, so show me what you've learned. Meet me at the training ground C." And that's what they do. After changing in the gym room, everyone went up to the training grounds to meet Aizawa and All Might. They explained the whole race thing, and the objective this time is to first locate, rescue, and evacuate some paid civilians that are set up in different areas of the training ground. Some students weren't really happy to go because they're going up against Izuku, and that's a sure way to lose. But he is before the race starts, he says some inspirational speech, bringing up everyone's morale a bit, but with that, the race begins. Izuku's wings come out, and he immediately goes top speed and rushes into the mock city. And since he was faster than the speed of sound, around 200 times faster, everyone's eardrums literally burst, because when he took off, he left a sonic boom behind him. But Recovery Girl is there, everyone will be fine, it's not a big deal. So Izuku dashes around the city searching for civilians when he comes across a collapsed building. He goes down and enters his scale mail armor to use half dimension, shrinking the building, revealing 2 injured citizens underneath. He swoops down, picking them up, and his armor isn't the most comfortable thing. So, I mean, that would be minus points, but come on, he located you in like 2 seconds. So, he does that for like the 5 other citizens, so he's the clear winner. The others saved the other 3, and they were happy. They did do something, but they didn't win. So after all that, it was time for the final exams, but everyone had to study up because some people were at the bottom of the class. So nothing much changes to this. Izuku and Ria studied together at her place, while everyone else did what they did in canon, some studying alone and others studying with Momo. So when the final exams came around, everyone sat the written portion, and after the papers were collected, they went to a training ground to do the fighting with teachers. Since nothing really changed, most of the fights do go the exact same, except this time it's Bakugo and Rias versus All Might. This fight actually goes pretty well. After the sports festival, Bakugo began changing his personality a bit and being more kind towards his mom especially. So Bakugo is more willing to listen to what Rias has to say, like Rias' plan. So they decide to take All Might head on, and All Might's perspective, he's just walking around the city looking for these students, and when he finally finds them, they're just standing out in the open. And All Might, he's kind of offended. He laughs it off and says, "Oh, so you seem certain you can beat me? Well, think again." And All Might runs towards them and throws a Detroit smash. And when the smoke clears, they were completely fine. And All Might's like, "Oh damn!" They're like her barrier. And Bakugo pulls the pin on his gauntlet and sends All Might back, blinding him for a bit. And using this opening, Rias electrocutes All Might and burns him even more with flames, and finally traps him using a magical barrier, giving Bakugo an opening to cuff All Might, winning the match for them. So All Might goes to Recovery Girl to heal up, while Rias and Bakugo go to the observation room. She runs up to Deku, tackling him to the ground, jumping on him, hugging him, all excited, but they were cut off by Aizawa, and Izuku was saying, come on Aizawa, you're ruining the moment, man. So Aizawa says, "Okay, lovebirds, break it up. Izuku, it's your turn to go." So Izuku gives Rias a sly kiss on the cheek and leaves to the training ground. And here he'll be fighting Endeavor, Ryukyu, Gang Orca, which is my favorite hero, by the way. He just looks really sick, and Aizawa. So Izuku is a bit surprised, but that soon turns to happiness, and they're not facing each other, there's a city in between them, but Endeavor sees Izuku on one of the monitors in there, and Endeavor and Gang Orca were confused why he's smiling, but Ryukyu, who's fought Izuku, and Aizawa, who's seen him fight, know that trying to defeat Izuku with numbers won't work. His quote-unquote quirk is perfect for large crowds and one-on-one, so there's really no weakness. So he goes into his scale mail and flies above the city trying to find some of the heroes, and the first person he finds is Ryukyu, because she's really big in her dragon form. So he flies towards her, and with a 40% one-for-all roundhouse kick to the face, she's sent to the ground out cold, and this sound is heard by Endeavor, Aizawa, and Gang Orca. So they start heading towards where it was. And when they do, Endeavor sees Izuku and shouts, "Aizawa, now!" And Aizawa tries using his quirk to cancel Izuku's, but it only turned off one for all, which just boosts him so he can use all his other abilities. So with all 3 of them in one place, Izuku starts using Divide, weakening them to the point where they can't even walk. But Endeavor, not wanting to lose to a kid, explodes in a burst of blue flames, the hottest he can produce, and he starts flying towards Izuku using the flames and shoots a massive fire blast, but Izuku, using Reflect, knocks it back to Endeavor, and we know Endeavor's flames, like his fire, still affects him, but he gets scorched up a bit. After that, someone, like a voice from behind Endeavor says, "Enji, look out!" And a massive wave of like sound shoots out of Gang Orca's head towards Izuku, who is like still in his armor, so it wouldn't like affect him. And Izuku then channels One for All in his arms, and an orb starts forming, similar to Issei's like dragon shot. A white orb appears in front of his fist, and Izuku punches it, sending it towards Gang Orca. And when it hits, it drains all his stamina, and this causes him to fall out cold because like no stamina, he can't even stand. So back to Endeavor, who was now like sending a barrage of fire blasts at Izuku, but in a display of dominance, Izuku just lets them hit him, but they do absolutely nothing. Izuku then channels One for All in his wings, now being able to, with this, he's now able to fly at light speed, and he appears behind Endeavor and kicks him in the back, like taking him down for good. And with that, he goes around to the passed out heroes one by one, like cuffing them, and this wins him the match. And everyone there, including Reyes, who was filming this, she posted it to like freaking Insta kilogram, and it went viral almost immediately. Obviously there were some people saying it was fake, but there was no evidence really. So the media got a hold of this and started spamming this on every like TV channel. So to Izuku, after he wins, all the students come down to the training grounds. Some are like congratulating him, others like Bakugo and Todoroki, gave him like a nod, like good job, but I'll still beat you someday. And Reyes, who was the most excited, jumps onto Izuku, like kissing him all over, and Izuku obviously didn't mind. So after that, we'd have the forest training camp, and I would do this in the next part, but nah. So yeah. So Izuku, when he's preparing his stuff for the training camp, and he gets a knock at his door. At the door, there were two agents in suits who gave him a briefcase, and Izuku was about to ask what it is, but they shut the door and leave. Izuku just says okay, like that was weird, and he goes to open the case. In it was a disc and an ID card. Izuku looks at the card and it says provisional license, name Izuku Midoriya, date of birth, etc, etc. Everything you would get on a regular ID. And he's wondering like why does he have like a provisional license, and the disc starts playing. It was a hologram of Nezu, All Might, and some of the people from the board that manages like the provisional licenses. So they explain that Izuku displays all the qualities of a hero, and it would be stupid not to put him on hero duty as soon as possible. So with this new card, a lot of possibilities will start to come Izuku's way. And yeah, I'll get into the forest training camp in the next part. So thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video. If you liked it, like. If you enjoy my content in general, why not subscribe? And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next What If.